Howdy, folks. Wait, let's see here. Let me make a couple of adjustments real quick here. I forgot to do before I go live here. Bear with me for just a second as we get everything online here. Okay, here we are. My bad. I wasn't ready there, but still, we're here. Okay, get this a little better here. Okay, howdy folks, welcome back. Sorry it's been a couple of weeks here, but I've been really busy, and so has the sun. So let's just get right to it. Here, I've got it set on September 23rd of 2021. This is a couple of weeks ago, a little over a couple of weeks ago, but the date is very important because this is the 4-year anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign in the sky. The lady draped the moon at her feet and a crown of 12 stars. That revelation actually happened. It actually took place. It was prophesied in the Bible, and it actually took place. It's an actual miracle, really. And the last time it was, that configuration ever even came close was back when Jesus was around. So a lot of this stuff pertains to the prophecy and stuff. And that happened on September 23rd of 2017, and that day changed my life. And ever since, I've been following the sun and watching it and monitoring it. And I had a feeling that something might happen on this 4-year anniversary. And I got it freeze framed here. You can see this little object right here that's clearly got a nice little circular shape to it. And we're going to go start this loop going here because there's a lot going on in this one. So let's reverse it. Okay. So here we are. September 23rd, 2021. I want you to watch this loop a couple of times. Actually, we're going to watch it a lot because there's a lot going on. First, there's this object, and then it gets pushed out. There's a bigger object back behind it. Now, I want you to watch. There's material going over this faster than it's moving out until this bigger object comes out and actually pushes it back up to speed. See that motion over there? And I want you to keep watching that because something else happened. In my last video, I showed you a new discovery of how I believe our sun's magnetic field is acting like a wedge and stripping some of these smaller objects away from the bigger one. And we caught a good example of it last time. And I believe that's what we're looking at here again. This smaller object down here comes off at the same time as this bigger one. So it all gets held up. It's getting held up. Then it finally releases and snaps. This one comes out and pushes this one further at the same time this one comes out. So we're going to be watching a lot of things. Watch this, how it catches up and pushes this object. We'll focus on that for a minute here. Here's the smaller object being held up and material going over it faster than it's moving out. Then, once this bigger object releases from its magnetic grip with the sun and this other object, it comes out faster, hits this front one, and pushes it up to speed. Now, I want you guys to focus on that for a minute because you'll see it. Bam. Maybe I'll even speed it up just a little bit. Sometimes that helps. Okay, now I want you to watch when this one erupts from the sun and when this one erupts from the sun is the very same time. I'm going to slow it down now. So, when the second one, the bigger one's coming out, it releases there and there at the same time. Those two had a simultaneous release because this small one was being stripped away, and it shoots out at a let's just say southerly angle, just like it did last time. Something else, now that you guys have seen this and you're starting to realize what's happening here, keep watching because here's 1, 2, okay, there's the third one getting stripped away, and then there's this object. This object looks like the one that got stripped away last time, and it's still close by, but it's running a southerly orbit or something around our sun. So it looks like we have 4 objects here. This one, the bigger one behind it, the small one that got stripped away, and then this one that got stripped away last week or a couple of weeks ago. And all of this is on the 4-year anniversary of an actual biblical event that took place. There's no denying it. That was the event. It took place. I witnessed it myself with my kids and my telescope. We went out and watched it happen. A lot of people who understand the revelation understand that was describing a star alignment, and that they used a computer program called Stellarium. They entered the alignment, and it kicked out a date. And that date came, and sure enough, it actually happened as foretold in the Bible. A lot of this stuff that I'm showing you is all prophecy. These are all signs in the sun as promised. And when I see it happening on a 4-year anniversary of a prophetic sign, that tells me that this is also a prophetic sign. We are seeing our sun stripping away these smaller objects away from this bigger one and its little gravitational field and the objects that are stuck in around it. It's actually peeling away and stripping away one object, maybe sometimes 2 at a time. I don't know, but you can see that it's happened again. And this is 2 weeks ago, and we're gonna start going forward through this because something else is going on here. Now, we got a good look at that one. Let's go to the next day, because let it load up a little bit here. And maybe you can see it as it's loading up, see what's going on here. Yeah, it should be almost done. Okay, there it goes. Now, I want you to watch over here at this little object that just entered the magnetic field way out here. It did not erupt off the sun. There is no CME coming off of the sun right there. This object comes in close and enters the magnetic field and has a reaction right out here. And you can also see there's other objects floating around in here too. This is starting to look almost like a debris field that's following these objects, because this is the next day. This is the 24th now, and we still have little objects trailing those bigger ones we just saw. Okay, let's go another day ahead. Here we go for the 25th, and let it load up real quick. Yep. As long as these keep loading up, I'll be okay. My computer is a little slow lately. I'll say hi to all you guys into the chat room right there. I saw a couple of people there. I'm sorry I can't really chat with you guys. I don't have my whole system set up, and what I do have going is falling apart, it seems. So all right, in this one, look how calm it is. That's like a regular solar or CME, this one that came out. That's like a normal one. That's what they should look like, is like that. They're spitting out material. But here you can see there was an object in this one. This one flares out, and you'll see something coming down this way, another flare coming right here, and then look, there's some kind of object in that. Okay, that was the 25th. Let's go on to the next day. And here we go again with more CMEs. That one that just went out looked like a normal one. That's what they usually look like. But now look at this one coming out here. Oh, maybe not that one. Anyways, just let this finish loading here. See, it looks like there's something in that one too. Anyways, let's move on because there's plenty more to go. Now, we're moving into the 27th now. This is 4 days after the 4-year anniversary, and we still have this activity coming off the sun. I see these streaks coming, and I know something else is coming. Did you see that? Excuse me, that round object right there? So here we go again, right there. Yeah, nice clear. If I move my hand out of the way, huh? Yeah. And now I believe we got some of these things that are rogue now, some of these little planetoids or whatever that have been stripped away from that object. are running rogue and passing by the sun every other day, or we're entering some kind of new field that has some objects in it or something. So that was the 27th. Let's continue on to the 28th. Yeah, 28th. Okay. Wow, now look at that explosion. That was almost a full halo one. That was back on September 28th here. But then look over here. There's some kind of object, a triangle-shaped object over here, and you'll see material come out and go bounce off of it. Here, let me see if we can. Actually, that's good. I'll just use my magnifier here. So bear with me for a minute here. So try to do this. Okay. All right, let that disappear. All right, we'll let this loop run for a minute. And what I'm talking about is right over here. There's a triangle-shaped object coming out right here, and you can see the solar flare come out and almost hit it. It looks like almost like the roof of the house. It hits it and it glances off and it changes direction. See, it comes out down here at an angle, hits that roof-like structure, and then glances and goes straight. See how it comes out straight when it started at an angle coming down. See, there's some kind of object right here. I'll let you guys continue to watch it, but watch. You see how that little ball of plasma shoots out, hits it and glances, boom, boom. It came out at an angle, hits it, and then goes out straight. See that? So there's some other kind of object that's not round, that's triangle shaped like this. I don't know what it is, some craft maybe, or who knows, giant asteroid, whatever, but you can see how the solar flare has hit it and glanced and it changed direction. All right, I'm not making this stuff up. This is NASA's own satellites. This is their imagery. I'm just looking and being observant and telling you what I see. You know, maybe other people see other things. There's other activity going on over here and stuff too. But this main one over here is what I wanted to hopefully get your attention, because this glancing shot right here changes direction. And when it does, that indicates there's something there. Let that go, boom. Okay, and let's zoom back out a little bit here, because that was on the 28th, okay? And that was, 5 days after the Revelation 12 anniversary, okay? And we've had, basically activity every day since then. And here's another example where there's something over here, some kind of triangle-shaped ship, diamond-shaped ship, or object, or whatever. Okay, now let's move on, because we've got more. So let's move on to the 29th, September 29th. And you see we're having all these volcanoes going off, all the wild weather, earthquakes. I mean, those 2 deep 7s that we just had recently are going to wreak havoc for a while. And here we are again on 29th. This is still loading up, but you can still see that there's just kind of debris scattered amongst the stuff. Now watch up here. We have another object coming off the side of the sun, and we'll try to get it right on the last frame here. Okay, so as this object emerges, you see our instrument reacting to it. Hopefully my hand isn't messing things up. And maybe if I slide this down a little bit, there we go. So, watch these white streaks. These white streaks always indicate that there's some kind of object coming here and there's material plasma streaking past it. So I see those white streaks. It makes me look in that vicinity. And all right, there was our last image right here. Here's this nice round-shaped object right here, looking like an eye kind of coming off. And the white streaks indicate that there's an object here and there's flow going over it. Let's go on to the next day, the 30th. And we're just going to try to mark these days the best I can. All right, here it is again. This is picking up where it left off. You see this nice, perfectly round shape right here. Okay, let it keep going here. And you can see the flow going around it. Here, let's speed this one up a little bit. And I want you to watch as the flow is going around this object faster than it's moving out. Let's use the magnifier again. Let's put it right there. Okay, now you guys can see a little bit better. You see how the material is flowing over it? These white streaks as it goes past it? And it almost looks like one of these little objects got tugged back and then snapped into position and almost shoots off. Boom, right there. I'll have to slow that down for you guys a little bit. Okay. Some object right there and shoots away. Let's see here. It has a nice round shape and this teardrop effect. When these objects move away, they keep dragging material with them that stretches back to the sun in the shape of this teardrop effect. Okay, so let's zoom back out. So there's another day with activity around the sun. These round objects stripping material away from the sun again. So let's move on to the next day. Here we go into October 1st here. Uploading. Okay, here we go with another round explosion. You can see a little object in the core of that one right there. Pause. Let's go previous a little bit, right? Right there. There's a nice little black object right there. Here we go. The rest of this, you can see this round curvature right here. There's the bigger object back behind it. This black ring is like a shock wave or plasma material going over this bigger sphere. It's draping over it and it's traveling past it. So, whoops. Here we go. And it's not much, but when these you get to see it travel across the sphere. So let's, this little wave right here is going around a bigger spheroid right there. So let's go next. Now I'm not sure if this is, caused from this smaller object, but I'm pretty sure there's a bigger object that has smaller ones that are rotating around it almost like its own little system. But right here, here's a good shot. Let me lower that for you guys so you can see it a little better. There we go. And I'll even use this, go in a little bit. Yeah, there we go. And you can see we've got a nice little object, round object right here. It looks like a bigger one back behind it right here. And you can see this flow, these streaks streak back and streak down, reacting to a bigger object back here. So there's an image there. There's another day where some objects showed up again. So this is becoming almost like a daily event now. And let's move forward on to the next day. And look at this, another huge, beautiful explosion here we got going. Let it finish loading up here, and then we'll let the loop run. Look at this blast down here. There's something round in there. See the spaghettification or the little cone effect right here? Maybe play this one a little faster. You can see this one move out. This bigger one up here. That right there. I see round looking objects in here too. Let me slow this down a little bit. Right there, that one. Let's go freeze frame on it for a minute here when we get back to it. There we go. Let's lower this. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that a little better. Seems to be working okay. So let's back up a little bit. This round object right here, boom, as it comes out, boom, boom, boom. And look at all this material. See how it's reaching up again to a bigger object up here and reaching down this way? This teardrop cone effect is what is a telltale sign that there's some kind of object that's moving past through there. So let me go on to the next. Put that back into motion for you for a minute. Speed it up. Okay. And those are huge blasts. I mean, that's a lot of material that's being stripped away. Okay, so let's move on. So the next day. No images for that day. There's no images for the 4th. Gee, I wonder why. Because the sun was going crazy on those days. So here we are at the 5th, our next available day. So we'll let that upload real quick. Thanks for hanging in there with me, folks. Thank you for the thumbs up and the likes. I miss all you guys. I love you a lot. I've just been really busy. I'm going through a lot of stuff. So when I get a chance, I try to do it when I get a chance now. So, all right. Over here, there's some activity down below here on this day. Another round-looking object right at the very beginning there. Here, let's... All right. So here's our first frame of the at 024 on October 5th now of 2021. This little round object right here again. Let's go frame by frame. So here's a little tiny object, and the instrument's actually reacting to it. Let me just kind of go in on it real quick. You can see, here we go, it's our little signature, reaction right here. And this is already off of the sun. It just all of a sudden appears into the corona and shows up, and the instrument reacts to it. So there's even little ones scurrying about in there too. And it looks like there's another round object right in here, but let's go forward through this now. One time. Thank you for your patience, you guys. Yeah, it appears that there's another round object right over here moving out. So here's another day, back to back to back to back to back to back, where we've got objects coming off the sun, the instrument reacting to them, these objects taking material, stripping away with them. Okay, that wasn't a very good day, but it still had something in it. This day was the 6th of October. Doesn't look like there was too much activity on this day, but I know the 7th is crazy. So let's see what happened here real quick. Doesn't look like much. So out of the we're at the 6th now, so a week, almost 2 weeks of constant activity here around the sun. And this day looked relatively quiet. There's some little flares and little activity, but it was relatively quiet that day. So on to the next. Right here, the 7th. I think you guys all remember the 7th because... Oh, wait, maybe this is a different one. Look at these little spirals coming off right here and right there. Look at that. Whoa! I've never even seen that before. And then there appeared to be something else back in there too, but... Yeah, there's some kind of activity, something breaking away right there. But look at this. I've never seen the sun do this little S maneuver. See this curvature coming out and this one down here? Let's run that faster. Wow. Okay, well, that's something new. Yeah, usually most of our activity is coming off either the right or the left side. It's rare that we see anything coming off the top or the bottom, except for these objects when they get stripped away. I wonder if that's because of their polarity. They strip out either the bottom or the top or something. But look at that. That looks cool. Okay, on to the next day, because one of these here is getting lost in which day it is, but I think it's close around here. All right, let that upload real quick. Little flashes of objects in there. I saw that just a second ago. And a lot of this data was withheld for a while. And I was waiting days and days and days for some of it to come out or whatever. And then when it finally did and I saw what was there, I was just blown away. So, okay, here we go. This is a pretty normal day right here. This is a nice quiet day. There's a little flashes. Some people say is a camera reflection inside the camera, but could be anything. That's a good quiet day finally right there. So what are we, like 2 days out of 20 that we had quiet? But then here we go on to another day here, and you can see these white streaks growing, and boom, look at that, the full halo blast. And nobody even talked about this thing right here. They were all looking at the halo blast and nobody saw this object right there. Okay, so look at that for a minute. Let's let it finish loading and we'll critique this one. Bam. So full halo explosion. That's the one that came at us and just hit us, what, yesterday or today? Or yeah, yesterday and today. I think. Yeah, that's the 9th. So, but we'll start going through this frame by frame here. One more time, right here. Boom. Okay, so last time we had a halo just a few weeks ago, and what had happened is it looked like this bigger object with its companion came up from behind the sun and entered into the corona and splash. So this almost looked like something, the outer corona of the sun, and then out came a little object and the bigger object. So here we are a couple weeks later with another full halo, and here's this object coming out. Now I'm going to start going frame by frame here for you guys. So we already have a little signature right here, so there's something right there. Then it's a good strong signature on this round object right here coming off. So let's just keep going. Okay, you clearly see that this is reacting to the core, the middle of this round circle. There's some small object right here, or this round thing. I don't know if it's its magnetic field or what, but there's an object right here, and this thing's reacting to it. There's something small right here too, so it could be, but boy, look at this. This round shape with a little donut hole in the middle. This almost looks like an eye with a pupil and an iris and everything. So keep going. And look how it maintains its round shape, nice and round. Couple reactions to from the machine here. There it glitched out. Sometimes these glitches, no, they don't show much. Over here, see this bright region right here off the side of the sun. So there's an illuminated area on that side of the sun, a big bright flash that made this glitch out, I think. But as we continue on, here's our object still nice and perfectly round, the bigger object in the back with a smaller object right here trailing with it. These might be, magnetic fields, but there's obviously some small object there. And we're going to just keep going. Boom. That's a huge blast right there. It registered all the way up and all the way here, so that's a huge signature right there. Okay, then the cone effect as it trails away, stretching material out, what I like to call the spaghettification. And then look at this, these closing frames right here are another blast, which is probably the bigger object because we just seen a small one. And look how bright this big old loop of plasma is right here, you guys. That's intense. And what do you know? Right in the middle, right here, there's another object right here. And that was it. That was the closing frames of the 9th. So let's move on to the 10th. And we pick up right here with this object moving out, moving away, the cone effect, the stretching of material. Yeah, this thing's even reacting to it. See, there was a stray little object right there, a singular one. So it looks like we've got the bigger object right here with a couple of small ones probably with it, and then this smaller trailing object now. All right, let me speed this one up a little bit because sometimes the motion, when you speed it up, it helps. Yeah, you could see there was a huge round object right in there. And watch this black streak of plasma hit it and go around it right up in here. Yeah, it hits it, goes up and over and around it. A little trailing one again. Okay, so there we go again with another big blast and more objects. Well, we had like a day off in between, and here we are at the 10th. So let's move on to the next day. Here's the 11th, and hello there in the chat. Okay, anyways, back to this as it's uploading here. See a blast over here, some streaks coming out over here. Look at all this. There's another object right in there. Leave it kind of, do it like this. Yep, it looks like a couple of those smaller objects have gotten closer to each other. Oh, wow. Let's do this. I just seen something. Oh, wow. Okay, you guys, check this out. We're going to magnify this area right here. So, okay, we get that out of there. Okay, before this explosion, the object actually comes in, and you can see it coming in and hitting the, right there, hitting the coronasphere or whatever. See it move in right there? And then this big explosion. Right there. So that's seeing it before it interacts with the other side of the sun. That was it coming into view just as it hit the other side of this spheroid and caused this explosive reaction, and there it goes. Boom. Yeah, you can see that thing came in at an angle and finally hit the magnetic field, and they both kicked each other away, or our sun kicked that off to the side, shot it away like if you have two magnets that are pushing each other away, if you let go, the other one will shoot away really quick. So there's a little magnetic feature we're seeing right there. Yeah, that thing comes in at an angle, hits, and then causes the explosion. Boom. Okay, so let's zoom out here. And that was on the 11th. Let's go on to the 12th. And here we go with another explosion over here on the right. You can see the cone effect. That one wasn't as defined. but it was bigger. It was out in here, and it hit the outer fringes of the magnetic field. Boom, and you can see it pass by there. Yeah, you can see this material as it goes around this bigger object. It actually hits it and goes over it and goes around it. Okay, let's show you what I'm talking about. Sorry about that. Now watch as this material comes off and drapes over the bigger object. Wow. Yeah, you can see this. Let me see if I can pause it. Okay, so our object is big like this, and this stuff is hitting it right here, and this little arc, this round circle grows and goes around this spheroid object. It actually blossoms out and goes around it. Let me kind of like, see if I can describe with my fingers here. It hits it and blossoms out and goes around it. Coming out, hitting it, and then going, this ring right here goes over it. So let me put it back into motion here. Let's see if you can see it again. Just little details that are help you see these things a little better. Yeah, wow. Yeah, it just spreads out in a wave and just goes all around this big sphere right there. I hope you guys can see that. All right, let's back out of this one again. Do you think the... Whoops, I missed your thing there. What was your question again? And if you post something real quick, I can try and read it off my screen real quick and answer your question. Okay, well, if not... Yeah, that's a good example of that shock wave spreading out and going over a round spherical object right there. It paints it just like a target, like a tablecloth over an invisible table. Okay, let's move on to the next one because that was the 12th, and here is today, I believe, the 13th, yeah. And you can see we've had a little flare right there. And what do you know? Boom. Another huge object caught in that one. Or huge gravitational field or magnetic field, whichever you want to, whatever it is. Okay, see if we can pause on this. So, all right, just looking at these streaks and the angles that they're hitting and bending up here, hitting and going up over something right here. They're streaking and going around it this way like a ball. They're reaching all the way down here. Let me back this up a couple of times here. Whoops, back up. Boom. It even made the camera glitch out right there. But here's the openings frames. So let me scoot this down for you so you guys can see. And then here's our instrument already reacting to it as it starts to come out. It's reaching up this way and it's reaching down this way, curving around a little right there. Let's back up one. See, the instrument is reacting to a streak going up this way and a streak going down that way. Next. Boom, you can see our cone shape, and you can almost make out the roundness of this object back here. Then we have this small black spheroid right here. It looks like it's our typical crew, a small one followed by a bigger one behind. You can almost make out right here something. Shockwave goes over it, Here's the spaghettification cone effect starting to happen as it reaches back. Boom. That was a big object because that's a pretty good sized cone right there. It's a pretty good sized cone coming up here, sorry, and going down that way. So it was a pretty good sized blast, and that was today, the 13th, I believe. So, we got any images for tomorrow yet? Nope, because we're not in tomorrow yet. So I just showed you about what, from the 23rd to the 13th, 20 days or whatever worth of data here, except for a couple of days that were blacked out there. But there's been a lot of activity almost every day now on the sun. If not every day, it skips one day, but then it's right back to it again. And I feel that, the more this happens, the more our sun is probably going to strip some other objects away from these bigger ones. So wouldn't be surprised if we see more of this behavior now, where our sun starts acting like almost like a magnetic wedge. If you tried to force two magnets up against each other, they repel each other. Hi, it says that group of sunspots comes back around each facing. Yeah, and those sunspots, I believe, are kind of scars from these events. When these events rip off a bunch of material off the sun, it leaves a coronal hole, and I bet you it leaves, a little scar or something on the face of the sun. I believe that some CMEs are shooting out from the sun, but I believe some are being ripped and pulled off by the magnetic field of these objects. As they come in, they interact with the magnetic field around here, and they glance off at an angle. They can't hit each other unless it's a really strong force to shove these two opposing magnetic fields together. But as it enters, it's getting closer to these big ones and interacting with the small ones that are in orbit around them. So you got these big objects with smaller objects in orbit locked around them, and when they brush up against the sun, our magnetic fields acts like a wedge and tugs the smaller object off and squirts it out at a different angle. And now we've had a couple of these examples now. Let me see, back up all the way back to the 23rd if we can. I would X out of this and go to the calendar, but when I do that, my computer locks up, and I'm happy with it working right now for this video. So just bear with me as we kind of back up each day, because I want to go back and show you the 23rd, because that was a prophetic event, I feel. There's the 4th that had no images. Sorry, no images available for that day, or the previous day, the 3rd. And I remember there was some pretty good activity on this, but look at these huge blasts. Boom. Big old round circular object. Perfect cone shape coming off of it. I mean, I sound like a broken record, but until people start understanding what's going on here, they're just going to be kind of going, oh, what's going on with the sun? We're supposed to be in grand solar minimum. That's like 11 years of no sunspots, real quiet, no activity. And this all started up 10 days before the Revelation 12 event. And September 10th of 2017 was the day my life changed, and all this stuff became, I just could see it now. Before I didn't understand it and go see what was going on, but now I can see it. Good luck with getting people to listen. They happy in their little bubbles. Yeah, I know. I've been doing this for years, and I've come up with a bunch of trolls, people that don't care, whatever. But still, for me, this is like I've been called to do this and bring these things forward. I've been blessed with some good vision, and I'm able to see stuff that other people aren't detecting or whatever. They don't see it until I point it out or whatever. So I've been able to see some pretty amazing things, and some of which, if we get to the end of this, I might try to show you real quick if my computer will let me. Thank you for whoever's posting and stuff. Thank you for hanging in there and bearing with me. I haven't done a video in a little while. I usually just cut videos and I don't go live, but I have no more space left in either my phone or my computer, so I'm stuck doing it this way, which hopefully you guys understand. My wife said, "What?" Oh, my wife thinks I'm crazy for pointing out things in the skies and the sun. Yeah, well, hold on there because I'm about to show you something that you can point out to her that's really going to shock her, okay? So here, one more day here of this report. Here we are back at the 23rd. This is September 23rd, 4 years later of the Revelation 12 sign, and we have four objects in this one. This front object is being held up by the magnetic field of the bigger one behind it right there. When they release, a smaller one shoots off here, and you got four objects. So this one, the bigger one, finally releases and pushes this one faster. It finally catches up and shoves it out of the way. At the same time, it's breaking its magnetic field with this object. And this one's squirting off to the south again like we did before. So just a quick overview of that. Now, let's see if I can get my channel up without my computer freezing up. And I'm going to show you one thing that's very important. Okay, go to my, oops. So, they block a lot of my stuff. You have to have videos for all of my material to drop down. So there's four here, but you click on videos and all the rest of my stuff drops down. Here is the first object I saw. This was on September 10th of 2017. It was forecasted in the Bible. All right. There is a bigger one right here. Here, let me just let this little video play real quick. Let me back it up and just let my little video here kind of explains it, because you get to see Nibiru here too. I was never a big believer in Nibiru. I always saw, people's lens flares or whatever on their camera claiming they captured it. And it wasn't until I saw this. This was an X10 or something that came off the sun, right when we're supposed to be in solar minimum. This was a freak of activity. We're thinking, what's going on? It's not supposed to be kicking out X flares. But in this one, you can see there's an object, a black round object right here, surrounded by coronal mass ejection, and it actually has curved wings that curve back right here and on this side. And I'm gonna let this video play, and hopefully you'll see it. And howdy, folks. Welcome back. So this activity on the sun has been relatively quiet lately, so I like to go back into my pictures and stuff and just bring forward again some other stuff that I'd shown you before. So this is going to be Revelation relived here. So this all started out for me back on September 10th of 2017. Okay. And that's 13 days before the Revelation star alignment in the sky. So this was just days before the alignment in the sky. This event happened right here, and this is the third of a series of X-class flares that came off the sun back in 2017. This is the third one, the third X-class flare that came off the sun. There were two previous to this one, and then this one. And in this image, I can make out a black object right here with what look like wings coming back here and wrapping around the side and pointing back on that direction. And what looks like kind of Nibiru, kind of. And I was never really a big Nibiru fan, and until I found this image and then realized, oh my God, it's real. Here it is, caught in this solar flare. And you can see the solar flare reaching out and curving around the front face of it right here as it ignites and illuminates the atmosphere or whatever's around this object, the magnetic field, and ignites it and excites it, and these little wings that are debris tails are pointing back to another object that's back behind this one. And let's take you to this image right here. Here's our bigger object right here. Boom. And here is a conduit of plasma that's coming off of the sun. It's like a little tornado or a little vortex of plasma coming off the sun, hitting the surface of this object right here and creating a damage ring or an impact zone right here on the face of that planet. And then you can see Nibiru sticking out right here in front, like blood red right here. And this is the image that happened back on, like I said, September 10th of 2017. And this was 13 days prior to the star alignment. And in the Revelation, it says the dragon stood before the woman. Well, I believe that this event right here is what they were talking about, the dragon standing before the woman. So after this event happened, I made a video of it, and we'll just watch a quick little excerpt of this video right here. Standing before the woman. Okay, I hope you guys can see this image right here of what's going on. This CME is coming out and bending and arcing and going over a round object that's right here. It's a spherical object, and you got to remember it's three-dimensional. So this is actually plasma hitting the face of this ball right here. Let me go in a little closer because this is very important. This is the sign that was all promised in the sky, and it actually happened. Just nobody saw it or knew until it kind of fell into my lap. Anyways, you can see this little wedge shape coming here. This is a conduit of plasma. It's like a vortex of plasma that's being sucked off the sun. In this image, this white circle represents the size of the sun. The black part is an occulter that's actually covering the sun so that it doesn't blind the camera. So we can see the corona and the coronasphere and all the activity that's going on in it. But here, you can see this cone shape coming back. It's ripping material from the top to the bottom of the sun. This cone shape comes down and it hits the surface of this big spheroid right here. This spheroid is so big and so dense that it like bends light. You can see it bends light, it absorbs light. It's almost invisible because it doesn't reflect light until a solar CME like this hits it and drapes over it and paints it like an invisible table being hit with a tablecloth. Now this happened on September 10th, right before the Revelation 12 star alignment. So now we're going to back out of that, and I'm going to close it up with the most important thing I have ever found, and I think you guys might agree if you can see it. And it's here on my channel. Make sure you hit videos so you can scroll down. I got all kinds of evidence as you look through here, mountains and mountains of evidence. These events have been happening ever since, September 23rd or September 10th is when they really ratcheted up. And you can see some of these. All right, this one right here called Christmas Gift is the video I want to open up right here. Because I'm going to show you some of the clouds that I've been capturing, and you're going to, whoops, maybe we shouldn't default, but please play. My computer's getting slower by the day. Now, give it another minute here. Because, yeah, here we go, cool. Howdy folks, welcome back. So I know there's a lot of activity going on the sun, but I really don't feel like reporting on that stuff right now. Actually, I want to go back and revisit an event that happened earlier this year, 2020, around Easter, when I captured what appears to be Jesus in the clouds here. So I need you to tilt your head to the right about 5 degrees, and here's an eye, his other eye, his nose, his mouth, his chin and beard, his hair flowing back like this, and you can make out a crown up here above his head. That crown is hovering over his head. There seems to be almost a little halo. Okay, you guys can see this? All right, somebody says, yeah, I see it. Okay, this is for your husbands and wives that don't believe you or whatever that's going on. Jesus, it says in the Bible, Jesus even said, you will see me coming in the clouds. Well, here we are. Here he is. This is clear as a bell. His hair flowing back. You got the crown coming up like this with little balls at the top. I mean, it's clearly there. But the trick to this was it was so big in the sky that you couldn't see it. It wasn't until I took these images and compressed them and zoomed out that you could actually see this. This is like 10 dimensions back from what you normally see. Everybody just looks up to the clouds and they see clouds. Me, I look up and I can squint my eyes and look about 7, 8 dimensions back and see faces, all kinds of apocalyptic scenes are unfolding in the skies right in front of you guys and you don't even know it. But luckily, I figured it out and I can capture it and bring this to you. And this isn't all, because watch this video. It's going to go on. There's some more. Around his head, too. And once you see that image, then we can zoom in just a little bit tighter. There you go. Okay, and this event happened over a course of about an hour, and I got a lot of pictures of it. See, if we go up above here, you can see all these pictures up from way over here going across, or all of this event. And I'm going to show you more of what happened here. Okay, here I've taken about 7 or 8 of those pictures and put them together in a flip book, and you can see the different images and that this event, is taking place here because there's more that happens here. Okay, so starting here, we're going to go forward a little bit here through a lot of these images, all the way to right about here, where you can see that this face has changed now. Now we're seeing a more round, like lion type face with the nose right here. Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with a crown still above it. Now, I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures, and it's the transition between Jesus' face and the lion face. Now, this happened in the clouds, and it was so big and in your face you couldn't see it. It wasn't until I took these images and zoomed out and compress them. You didn't zoom in. They're too big in your face. You have to zoom out to see these. And these images that you're looking at have all been compressed, each frame, and then put into a flip book. And you can clearly see Jesus' face here with his crown hovering over his head, turning into that weird little lion face or whatever right there. Okay? And this happened back around Easter of 2020. So with Christmas right around the corner, I think, I just wanted to bring some hope to you folks. That happened on Easter of 2020, you guys. So it wasn't just a fluke in the clouds. It actually happened on Easter. So a lot of this stuff is real. It's actually happening. You're witnessing it. And now maybe for some of you guys that are wondering what's going on, it'll all start to make sense now. Let me back out of this. Let's just play it real quick from right there. All right, yeah, tilt your head to the right. You can see that. And then back on my channel here, I have a lot more that I've captured in the clouds. Here, let's try this one just for a minute here. Let's see if it picks it up. Howdy, folks. Back. So these faces that I've been showing you in the last few videos, in the etherical or in that mosaic that I was talking about, are not only taking place there, but now they're taking shape in our clouds. And with this new filter, I was able to go through some of these pictures, and it really makes them pop now. So if you can't see it yet, there's an eye here, an eye here, here's the nose, a mouth down below, here's an ear coming back up, the jaw running down, little pointed chin. And this face seems to almost be bisected. One half is like a goblin, and this other half looks like almost like a Wolverine or a Ewok type character. So I'll let you look at that for a minute. And this was pretty faint in the original picture, but now with the filter, it really makes it pop. So hopefully you guys can see that now. And then I'm going to bring you some more. And just real quick here, I wanted to show you the unfiltered version. This is the original right here. compared to this one right here, where you can make out a lot better. Okay. Okay, one more, and this one right here, you can make out we have an eye here and an eye right here. Here's the nose, and here's some lips, and it looks like he's blowing. You can make out his ear over here, horns and stuff coming up, his eyebrows. Can you guys see that face? There we go. Can you see that one? Here, let me. See a little bit better. Yeah, better. Now you can see a little bit better. All right there. There's another face right there in the clouds, just sitting there watching everybody, and nobody even sees it. And these huge faces, like I said, in scenes are playing out in the clouds. But it's all because Jesus is coming, you guys. It's real. It's true. It's really happening. And I got plenty of stuff here on my channel if you want more. I've been capturing them on my security cameras. I got angels and demons that I've captured on my security cameras, plus all this activity around our sun. So I got a lot. So that was about it for now. I just felt compelled to bring you more discoveries here because they just keep unfolding every day. It's like when you get up, I check the instruments and just blown away with even more activity. You know, it's getting so clear now and so blatantly obvious that, you know, something's going on there, that it's not just normal activity from our sun. And I believe Mr. MVB even played a video today showing some of these black objects interacting with the sun. Yeah, so thank you all for showing up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I got lots more for you. Just click on videos and this whole thing will drop down. And like I said, there's more space weather reports. Here's all the activity in the clouds right here. Here's a filtered image of the Jesus one so you can see it a little bit better. There's a 3-year anniversary when all this stuff started taking place. All sorts of stuff that we've captured on cameras. I've even captured this vehicle in the clouds right here, this little gold vehicle. So lots of stuff here for you guys to look at. Here's a lot of the cloud shows. Sky Show is what they're titled. Sky Show 9, 8, all these different things that I've captured in a different dimension in the clouds. So even UFOs in the clouds, you know, using their cloaking devices kind of make the air condensate and condense into clouds. So you're seeing these UFOs in some of these clouds because, or these UFO-shaped clouds, it's because there's actually something in there and it's cloaking. It's using that. Some other stuff we've seen, Mary and Angel stuff showing up. So a lot for you guys to go for. I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you all. And until my next one, I love you all. Bye. Oh, yeah? Wait, let me read some of these last comments there. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Bless you. I love you all. And until my next video. Bye.